Thank you guys. I'm so happy to be here. I'm gonna get right to the song and then I'm gonna tell you a little story afterwards. ليش مكذب على حالي وقول كرمال كل شي بيهون هم على حالي عراحل بالي ما ابقى لحالي ببقى لحالي أحسن ما أكذب عحالي لو قالوا شو بدكوا ما تخبي بقلبك قول بدي قلن إنه أنا بدي حالي كون أمن على حالي عراحل بالي ما ابقى لحالي ببقى لحالي أحسن ما أكذب عحالي Thank you very much. So this song is called Kisbi, which is a lie in Arabic. And I wrote it after, well, let me tell you the story first, it will make sense afterwards. So there was a time when I couldn't do that, sing. And I remember this memory back when I was about 4 years old. I'm trying to get this mic to stick. Here. Yeah, so I was about 4 years old. I was singing this song to my mother. And I remember, I can see now her face how it lit up with joy and pride as she heard me sing. She quickly called out to my father to come and hear me, and which he did. And I instantly saw the disapproval in his eyes. My heart sank. And only later in life did I realize how traumatic that moment was for me. Singing was something that I loved doing so much. It brought me so much joy. But ever since that moment, I couldn't sing in front of anyone. I would sing in front of the mirror, in my bedroom, locked in the bathroom, hidden in the closet. It was my secret, a secret that brought me so much joy, but so much shame and guilt at the same time. They say when you don't get the right validation you need as a child, you grow hungry for it. And that's exactly what I did. I was ravenous. I wanted to be a singer, I wanted to be a star. I remember I would sing for hours on and on, daydreaming of one day being on stage and singing in front of people. And as that hunger grew, so did the doubt, and the fear. I was back in Ohio about when I was in college, and I remember I was watching TV, and then this ad on TV came, and it was Star Academy casting season 5. So Star Academy, by the way, is a combination between American Idol and Big Brother. So it's like we live in this big house, it's a big European, yes, it's exactly that, format show. So I was about to do, that night I remember something bigger outside of me took control over the steering wheel of my life. I was about to do something that I never had the courage to do before. So I filled out an application and I did a self-tape and I sent it off without no one knowing. And the whole casting process took about 3 months, phone calls, Skype, and in person. And I was in Ohio, and that was happening in the Middle East, so far. So, and then after that, I was on the show. I was one of the contestants, and it was incredibly insane, the whole journey. The minute the show was over, I suddenly had fans. I was working on music. I was releasing music videos, touring in the Middle East. It was crazy. And my parents, by the way, were so supportive and so cute. Just seeing their child on TV, loved by people, brought them so much joy. But soon after, I started realizing that the validation that I was getting wasn't making me feel complete. And in front of all these people and in front of my family, I was still hiding. And that's when I realized that there was another closet that I needed to come out of. I remember this one night, I was having dinner with my dearest friends and mentors, Derek Anderson. He asked me, we were having dinner, he picked the perfect time, not really, but, so he asked me, Zaher, how do you think it's okay for you to hide who you are from the people that you love most? And I quickly responded, saying, Derek, no, this is my life, no, nobody really needs to know about this. Anyways, I would be selfish if I actually do share that. He said, but you'd be robbing them of the chance to truly see you and love you for who you really are. And that moment of truth kept me up that night, thinking and crying of all the crazy and horrible situations that could go wrong if, in fact, I do share my truth. But around midnight, I picked up the phone. I texted my best friend of 20 years, right, and I told her, right, I need to talk to you about something important. It took her less than a minute to call back, and about 40 minutes back and forth until I was able to tell her, Raida, I'm gay. So Raida would be the second person to know now, and I started coming out to a small circle of friends and the circle around me in New York. And as part of my journey, I got this incredible opportunity to direct this short film. And that was so fulfilling and incredible, but I was still hiding. I was still hiding from my family. And that's when I decided to come out to my 3 older brothers, who all, by the way, I imagined this would be the case. They were not happy, but they were supportive, luckily, and they did say that we love you no matter what. The one thing they all agreed on, though, if you can take a guess, to never ever tell our parents, because this would kill them and this would devastate them. I agreed until I no longer was able to. It was an agreement that I couldn't live up to. And why? Love. You know, coming out to my brothers and my friends felt so good. I never felt any, more me than ever. But this incredible, wonderful man came into my life and stripped me of all of these toxic ideas that I have about myself, and the thoughts and who I should be and what I should say and do and all this stuff, and introduced this concept. And I say concept because I've heard of it before, but I never really lived it, and that's vulnerability. Mm-hmm. And he truly taught me or introduced that idea, and I experienced it with him, so I needed to show him a deeper side of who I was, but also I needed to show that to my parents, my family. So 6 months ago, I decided to come out to my parents. And in case you're wondering how that went, I wish I could say that that was easy, or it's easy. it's still a very complex, complicated journey, process that I'm still going through. They love me so much and they think highly of me and they're so proud of me, but they can't accept that part of who I am, of me. And it's painful at times, just because, and confusing, just because I want to please them, but at the same time I can't go back to how I was in the past. So it's confusing, but you know, that's how it goes. And the thought of them, of me coming out publicly, or even being an advocate for being queer, it just terrifies them. But here I am, over and over, standing, you know, before you tonight, deciding to come out publicly and on stage. And this is the second time, by the way, I come out publicly.
Yeah.
So this was, you know, so I, you know, coming out publicly, and because I truly feel that this is the only way to liberate myself from all the shame, the guilt, the fear that I've lived with for the past 30 years of my life. And I hope that through my art and my work and my music, I could encourage others to just do exactly the same thing that I did, to be themselves, to love themselves first and foremost, as you were mentioning earlier, and to be vulnerable enough to not be attached to any outcome at all, no matter how scary that looks or could be. And I hope that one day, you know, my parents would be, you know, here or in other, you know, events, cheering their gay, out and happy son as I sing the song that I sent from you today.